Here's the Walvoord Vacation Anniversary number 10, 2018. Here we are at Waikiki Beach. Not really here to swim, just checking it out. Here we are at Pearl Harbor, getting ready to tour the USS Bowfin. Here we are walking on Bowfin. Oh, shower. Here's the captain's stateroom. Here's the Christmas tree board. Controlled diving and rising. Here's the conning tower.
Lighter weight diesel engines and a longer operating range, the U-boats have...
Here's a model display of the USS Bowfin that we were just on. These merchant vessel outlets.
Which allowed for rapid crash dives.
Here's an emblem for submarines. Each submarine created its own emblem. This is a Poseidon strategic ballistic missile. So this is what the conning tower of a submarine would have looked like. There's Megan looking through a periscope. Arizona. Statue of Nimitz. Here's Battleship Missouri. The turrets are pointed up at this angle to salute the fallen soldiers or sailors of USS Arizona, which is just off the front there. Here we are on the surrender deck. Here's the spot that World War II ended. So here's the flag. It's got 31 stars. This is what was used at the time of the surrender. There were 48 states. The reason is because Commodore Perry first opened negotiations when there were only 31 states. So, symbolic.
A lot of famous people has gone through Captain Scott. You guys remember Bob Hope? 45.
It's the real picture of the airplane hitting the side of the Missouri. There's the dent for the Commodore. Here's a piece of the USS Oklahoma. Painting of it. Here's the bridge where all the steering.
Very well.
This is the captain's chair. Here's a Zero fighter. Sort of bombs used in the attack. So the Wildcat is supposed to simulate Guadalcanal condition. Liberator. Here's a Douglas Dauntless. See a mural of Midway in the background. As you can see, some of the bullet holes that have been left in the glass from the attack on December 7th. Anger 79. Avenger getting ready for restoration. So this is the Swamp Ghost. It crashed in a swamp in New Guinea during World War II, and they managed to salvage it, and here it is. And here's the Disney iconography for the nose art.
Reads, "The solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom." All in gold leaf, he was known as the Lone One.
Coronation system.
This is where the row of guards is to stay to protect the royal family.
It's just outside our hotel. berserker. There we are. It's much calmer than it has been. There the waves come in, pretty big. It's right up next to the shore. And it is cold water. Not a surfer. Just the only one out here. Here's Megan driving. Here we are, a little further down on the North Shore. Got some surf school out there. Hey. Yep. There's Megan down the shore.
Sure, Wayamu Valley.
Wayamu Valley of the Falls. We'll go with Wayamu anyway. Bananas. Just for Megan. Ale Kahuma, place where you cook during bad weather. Atlanta submarine, we're taking our trip out to the sub. Here we are back on the beach because it was too rough. So we've rescheduled and hopefully
3 will be better.
3 will be better.
We hope.
There's a bunch of disappointed people getting off our boat. Here we are back at the submarine boat dock. This is Diamond Head. That's what we're gonna ride.
Yes, that's a real submarine underwater for 45 minutes with no bathroom.
Events at 22, dive, dive, dive.
I was like, ladies and gentlemen, we have an actor and he reads from like a script, that's Dory right there. Yeah. You can say hi. Oh, but she speaks well. You gotta speak well. White tip reef shark sleeping. You can see the mouth opening and closing. That's how it's breathing.
I saw 2 sharks.
Most sharks have to swim continuously to breathe, but there are 4 species of sharks that don't have to do that. The white tip reef shark is one of them. Starfish. They're everywhere. And then look. Dun, 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 dun. Boom! Look at that! Sounds. 2 turtles, turtles! Honu, honu! Haikwe, haikwe, kame, kame turtles! That one's going inside. That turtle's going in.
Dive.
Going down to sleep. Dive, dive, dive. Look at that! Spotted eagle brains! Down there swimming.
See the stingrays? Hey, we upgraded to the stay for fun.
Now we're on the big island.
Volcano National Park entrance.
Here we are on our hike to go see some volcanoes. There's Megan.
Hi.
She looks thrilled. Here's our trusty guide.
Yeah, no, that one, the one that's smoking right now, opened up in
This white
2000.
sign, you can walk down that trail, but that's as far as you can go.
Yeah.
Here we are walking down the trail into the crater. So, not a sign you see on every trail. Got these little plant stem things. I'm not really sure exactly what they are. Cool. Here we are walking on hardened lava. So we follow these rocks as the trail guides, the trail markers. So in this area we can feel the heat coming off.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
From the vents.
So this is as far as we can go. You can see out what the landscape looks like. Lots of steam still rising.
Paul, what are you doing?
Oh, I can feel it. I feel it getting hotter as you walk that way.
That's probably why they tell you to not walk that way.
Here's more steam vents, and they're hot. Almost like getting a facial. Definitely enough to fog the lens of the camera.
And they smell like sulfur.
Volcano Observatory. We've got a side-by-side comparison of green sand and black sand. Here we are going in the Thurston lava tubes. Here we are in the lava tube. Wet inside. Is the sea arch. Also get a good idea of the waves bashing into Hawaii. Here we have nenes crossing illegally at the non-nene crossing. Hello, nenes. They are the state bird of Hawaii. Bye-bye, nene.
There's two more.
Hello, other nenes.
It's just lava as far as the eye can see. It's on both sides of the road.
There's the lava lake. Here we are at the Royal Kona after a long, hard day. Wendy, just so you know, this hotel has a romance center so you can plan weddings. We'll get you the number, don't worry. Here's the pancake machine, making pancakes. My wife wanted me to record this. So here they come. And here it comes out, and it lands on my plate. Yay! Across the ocean, great buffet, coconut syrup.
No hang loose, we are Germans.
Germans can hang loose.
No. Every time, hurry up.
Hurt your teeth. But you could see the white pieces of popcorn. Okay, it's white, so we know it's gypsum. So as the cave was cooling, what got trapped in that pieces of popcorn that caused it to puff up was a combination of hot air and gas. It got trapped in the gypsum, and that made it puff up to a popcorn piece. I grew up with the popcorn ceiling, didn't look this nice. You two especially take a photo of the entryway because you'll never see that again. All the gold is. Yeah, imagine it was real gold.
You'd be
That
wealthy,
would be cool. I'd
right?
be wealthy. Could buy more caves, right?
That's right.
Towards my right We can see the roots from the ohia trees, all right? So these are the roots. Yes, it's ohia tree. That's. This does end. You can see the end, but it's still a nice little view.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and of course you see the ohia roots coming in.
So some bones of a bird.
What happened is we did have an ornithologist look at it, and they took a sample back. So what's interesting, it's a type of petrel bird, P-E-T-R-E-L, and that refers to ocean-going birds, kind of like a seagull. This was a smaller type. It's actually extinct, this particular bird. The reason we got to keep the bones, thank goodness, is because they have enough examples of that, like at the Smithsonian Natural Museum of History, and there's a big one in Chicago that I've been to, the Natural History Museum there. So we got to keep them. But our biggest question was, of course, why is there a bird in here? Look scared. Yeah, she is.
Gonna hold that rock up.
Hold that up. Okay. There's some air bubbles there.
That's where the nuts go, right?
Yeah, just air bubbles. Yeah, they could use this. But remember I said it cooled off really quick because look how thin that layer is.
Yeah.
And this also shows the porosity, all these holes, right, that allow all the water to come in. But it's neat. It's just such a neat service. Dark chocolate. All the time. It could take some of that white, some of that gypsum off. But the black is basically like hematite or magnetite. That's not going to really change. On that too.
Here we are, 100 feet underground.
We actually.
So we're getting ready to crawl. It's going to be good times.
If you look down here, yes. So it's very narrow. We're going to stay to the right-hand side.
Okay.
And then if you get off as well as there, this is where they probably had a gourd sitting.
Oh.
We see the ash there. And this is actually called a gourd shelf. It was actually found like that. But they would have placed a gourd there because you see the water dripping in.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is the Raiders of the Lost Ark rock.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, you can see how lava flowed. Aha. There's the, okay, and then you want to turn your lights off. And then
Bones of a goat.
last.
That's interesting. So they didn't... Is it a full goat then? So it's not something they came in here and ate, maybe?
Right.
Okay.
They don't think they ate it here.
So this is the goat's head,
You can
or
see
where it
some
was. There's some
teeth
teeth in there.
Well,
Oh, that's interesting. And so the body is back over there. So it must have rolled down here at some point.
O-ring in there. They may have even had a hammock. But when they found this, when Rick and Rose moved in '89, they were going to clean this up and thought, no, that's history. We'll leave it be. Because imagine whoever was here, that's before the development went in the 80s. So there was no roads. Imagine having to hike all the way back here.
Yeah.
The only thing that was there was the highway, but that's a long way. I'm sorry?
Heading out.
Have there been flashlights yet?
It just shows you
So
how
we
long
came out of here.
you could be underground and not even
And
realize.
we parked over there, and there's the other entrance. Only 3.5 hours. Here we are at Heavenly Hawaiian Farms to take a coffee tour as soon as we get out of our car and all that. Rentable house.
So when you're looking out at this
Vacation
section
idea.
of our land, you can...
An aloe vera or aloe vera.
This plant, coffee, is a jasmine flower. So as you're walking around or you're welcome to come smell these flowers, you can pick up jasmine on the note. Now the coffee cherry starts like that, then grows bigger, gets into a bean at biggest somewhat about the size of a peanut M&M, picture that. Green and then yellow and then eventually reddish, eventually turning to a maroonish color, which is ripe, that's what we want. Hangs out there for about a week and a half. Then it starts drying up, turning into a raisin. We don't want to use it anymore. Towards it, they get drunk off the fumes.
Beetle trap.
They fall into the red cup and they can't get out because there's soapy water. Now that's our beetle trap, and we slough off the light stuff, branches and whatnot. We don't want it. Then the coffee cherry goes in the top portion. That's where we separate our cherry from anything else, rocks, for example. On the back side, the cherry gets shucked off. Then it goes through an auger and thrown down below. And the cherry itself is useful for stuff too. In the past, mostly only fertilizer, but we can extract caffeine powder from it. In fact, the cherry has more caffeine than even the bean. So for example, the owner of Monster Energy Drinks, lives in the town below us. So who knows, you might in the future see Monster Kona caffeine or something.
So pea berry,
One's missing.
3 to 5%.
The bean
is the
grows
best.
around like this and creates the pea berry, which is, again, it's all that compact flavor in one bean now. It's smaller, which typically is better for a dark roast, but because it's a whole bean, it's got all that flavor put in. So it roasts really well, and it has that softest flavor. It's considered that, again, creme de la creme, the dessert cup. So you'll see these tiered up in the store.
There's the Hawaiian Heavenly Coffee. Here we are at the Ocean Rider Seahorse Farm.
And some of them
So this
will.
is a
We at
living
least
gene
have them in
bank.
captivity, maybe even put them back in the ocean, right? That was part of the goal. The other thing they wanted to do was make a place for people just like you to come and talk about all these things. The issue.
This is the farm starter right here.
He's only found in
By
Hawaii.
Ulu.
Its scientific name is Halocaridina rubra. Its common name is the red lava shrimp. A type of algae.
Megan and I are going to eat some seaweed.
This here is called ogo. In Hawaii, it's very, very popular, highly prized. If any of you have had poke, you've already eaten this. Were
Still
born here on the
American
farm.
seahorse.
At one time, they were little fry, just like you saw in the hatchery. They're kind of grown up now. This is mostly juveniles. There'll be a few adults mixed in. All right, so along the way, we've met several types of shrimp, right? We saw the opai ula, those red shrimp. Then we saw the brine shrimp. This is actually a different type, the third type. Was there anything specifically different about it? It was dead. You got it. That's it. It's a frozen prepared food. Mice and shrimp come to us from the Great Lakes in Canada. They're originally put in the lakes to help the salmon fry. It totally backfired, and now it's wiping out the salmon fry.
Paul holding a seahorse. How's it feel, babe?
When she checked it, they probably told you that, right? Yes.
Here's Megan with the seahorse. It's pretty cool. Silver Mustang seahorse.
Seahorses evolved from a
Australian dragon seahorse. Here we are. Last viewpoint of Hawaii for us before we get on airplanes. Here we are. Last viewpoint of Hawaii for us before we get on airplanes.